What's up, and welcome to the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. I'm your host, Kat Kozad, manifestation expert, money mindset and fulfillment coach, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur. Come sit with me while I spill the real tea on what it's like to practice using intentional manifestation, demystify all of the woo-woo and confusing bullshit that comes along with creating the life of your dreams, and give you a realistic view of what it's like to be on a personal, spiritual, and professional growth journey. The goal of this podcast is to support and guide you towards manifesting all of your dreams, shed light on the things that people are too scared to talk about, and encourage you to become the person who gets to have it all, be it all, and do it all. I am so happy you are here. Let's fucking do this thing. What's up, loves? Welcome back to another episode of the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. It is a lovely, sunny February day here in New York City, and before we hop into today's episode, I'm going to give y'all a few life updates because I feel like y'all love those. Anytime I give them, people are always so excited and message me on Instagram. So, few life updates for you is that one of the intentions that I set for 2022 is that I'm going to travel every single month of the year. And this month I am traveling this upcoming weekend to visit my beautiful soul sister, Evie, who I mentioned in past podcast episodes, but I'm going to be bringing her onto the podcast soon for us to have some bestie chats about manifestation, law of attraction, spirituality, all of this good stuff. Because so many of you have said to me that you're really interested in what it looks like to have those divine friendships, those spiritual connected friendships where it's genuinely just so supportive, and that is what I have with Evie. And so we are going to be doing some Bessie Chat podcast episodes for y'all that will be coming out soon, and I'm really excited for that. But I'm so excited to go visit her. This is going to be my first time seeing her town that she lives in, the city that she lives in, and getting to meet her husband, which will be so incredible. And then next month, I am traveling to Colorado to visit one of my best friends who's pregnant, and I'm so excited to see her. And then in April, your girl is going to Puerto Rico, so that is going to be so much fun. But yeah, just a few little life updates there. I'm definitely ready for it to be warmer here in the city. We had the tiniest, most beautiful glimpse of spring the other day. It was 59 degrees, and it was a day that I was having a photo shoot, and I was literally sweating. It was like, my friend Jody was saying to me, she was like, "Really? You're sweating right now? Like, of course, you're a Colorado girl. Like, you're used to the cold." So 59 degrees for me, I was sweating, but I'm ready for warmer temps and to be outside more. But yeah, so those are the life updates. And as you see by the title, today we're going to be talking about your evolution in terms of the manifestation process and why it is so important for your manifestations. And so what I want to kick this off with is wherever you are right now, unless you are driving, don't do this if you're driving. This is the disclaimer. Do not do this if you are driving. But if you're in a space right now that you can close your eyes, I want you to go ahead and close your eyes. And I want you to take a few big, deep breaths. And I want you to ask yourself, if you were to wake up 5 years from now and be in the exact same position that you're in right now, would you be happy with it? And really just sit into that feeling and ask yourself that and see what comes up inside of your body. See if you have any physical reaction to that, or if there's any loud voices that are popping through saying hell yes or hell no, because this is going to play into our conversation today. So when I've asked myself this question in the past, closed my eyes and said, if I woke up 5 years from now in the same exact position, would I be happy with that? If I woke up 1 year in the exact same position that I'm in right now, would I be happy with that? And while I am thrilled with my life, like I've said, I've created the life of my dreams, I'm still constantly evolving and constantly growing, constantly stepping into this position of becoming the best version of myself that I can possibly be. And I know that my growth within that is not done. I know that there's always room for more evolution, always room for more abundance, more of all the things that I desire in my life and that you desire in your life. So the answer for me, when I think about would I be happy if I woke up a year from now or 5 years from now in the exact same position that I'm in right now? Fuck no, I wouldn't be happy with that. And I asked this question on my Instagram story a few weeks back, and I had an overwhelming response from hundreds of you saying that you would not be happy if you were to wake up in the same position just 1 year from where you're at right now. So imagine if that was 5 years and nothing had changed in 5 years, because that is what we are going to be talking about with this podcast episode. The fact that your evolution is key for your manifestations. And what I mean when I say that, and I've said this on past podcast episodes, is that you are the center point of your manifestation. If you were to not evolve, if you were to stay exactly where you are right now, all you could attract and receive are the things that you've attracted and received so far in your life. Because if there was no resistance to it, if you were the vibrational match for it, it would have already showed up in your life right now. You would have already manifested it. And I know that that's a really hard reality for a lot of people, especially with how much misconception there is out there when it comes to manifestation and what you have to do in order to receive your manifestations. This is like one of the biggest things that I have qualms with when it comes to watching TikTok videos, specifically on manifestation. And I am on TikTok for manifestation and create my own manifestation videos. So I constantly am seeing what other people are putting out there. And one of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to manifestation is that you can sit in your room all day long and write out your affirmations, 5x55, 3-6-9 method, whatever it is, all of these different manifestation methods that you see on TikTok and YouTube and whatnot. And because you're writing it down in your journal, just expect for your manifestation to show up, whilst not changing anything within yourself, not changing anything inside of your belief system, not changing anything inside of your identity, your behaviors, your emotions, your reactions, your responses to the different things in your life. And that just doesn't fucking work. It doesn't fucking happen that way. And I never sugarcoat it here on the No Bullshit Manifestation Show, just for the sake of wanting you to understand that if that is your perception of manifestation, you have been lied to. That is not how manifestation works. And what we're going to be talking about today is helping you step into the version of yourself who is going to be the vibrational match to receive the things that you desire in your life, who is in the position that you are energetically open to these things and there isn't resistance to these things, and you're not subconsciously sabotaging yourself, and really stepping into this place of power in your life where you are able to actually manifest the things that you're wanting. So with that being said, one of the biggest things that I see when it comes to this, when it comes to our evolution for the manifestation process, is it's hard for us to understand who we need to become or what beliefs we need to embody, what behaviors we need to embody without the guidance or the support from somebody who has already received the thing that it is that we desire. And if you pay attention to the world of online coaching or manifestation coaching or any of this, this is probably one of the things that you've heard the most and maybe have dismissed, because I think that there are a lot of people who just say this for the sake of marketing themselves. But I want to talk about this in the way of why it's so true and why you hear it so much, because it is hands down what has helped me get from my rock bottom position to now living the life of my dreams, which has been investing. in coaches, investing in the people who know exactly what it is that I want to receive and the game plan of how to get me from point A to point B. Because we cannot recognize what we don't recognize inside of ourselves. We all have blind spots. We all have things that no matter how hard we try to get there with ourselves, we can't get to because we don't see it inside of ourselves. And that's why having a coach or a mentor or whoever it is so powerful, because they point out your blind spots and they point out the things that you are doing within your reality that are not in alignment with what you're wanting to create for yourself. So an example of this in my own life is when I first started my intentional manifestation journey, I was endlessly looking out there for the free resources on Pinterest and podcasts and Instagram and all of the different things. And I definitely 100% was making tiny little shifts within my behavior, but ultimately still felt super frustrated because nothing was really changing. And that's when my first manifestation coach showed up, and I made the decision to invest in her with the money that I didn't have, because if you don't know my story, I was $70,000 in debt, but I decided to invest the money that I didn't have into learning from her because she was financially free. She was making multiple 5 figures a month. She was living her dream life with time freedom and location freedom. She was living and traveling and doing all of these fun things that I wanted to do. And that's the life that I wanted from myself. So I made the decision to invest in her with the belief that if I was to put all of myself into the work that she had provided, to implement those different things into my life, to create that evolution inside of myself and follow that game plan, then I too could be in that position. And the two most powerful energies that we hold inside of ourselves on a daily basis are the power of decision and the power of belief. Those two energetics combined, making a decision and believing that that decision is going to be the thing that is going to help you transform your life, then sends out that energetic frequency out to the universe, and by the law of attraction, attracts back in like vibrational experiences to support you within that evolution of getting to the place where you are manifesting all of these different things that you want. You're manifesting the abundance that you desire. But when we are in the position that we are just like endlessly scrolling through the free resources and we're not really having to go all in, then it doesn't put out that strong vibration with it. And if you've listened to any of my podcast episodes on money in the past, this is something that you've probably heard, but every single time we interact with money in our lives, that is an energetic exchange. So when you're choosing to invest in yourself by working with a mentor, working with a coach, working with whoever it is, then you are exchanging a large amount of energy out into the universe. And by return of that, with the universal law of attraction, you're seeing back like vibrational experiences. So there's so many studies that have been done. That's like if somebody was to receive our free resource that is like the game plan to change their life, they're not going to change their life, as opposed to somebody who invests $50,000 into getting that same exact resource. They're going to change their life because that energetic exchange is creating that amount of energetic return that you get, as well as you have some leg in the game. You feel as though it's actually important for you to commit to the process because you put that investment into it. You put the money into it. And that's something that I see with myself as well, is like, if I am to invest in something that is $50 versus, let's say, like $25,000, that's been my biggest investment, then the thing that I spent $50 on, I see a tiny return from, because that's pocket change to me. And that is something that I could easily manifest back in a matter of moments, as opposed to $25,000 feels as though it's more of an energetic exchange to me based off of the belief system and the energetic ability that I have inside of myself to call more money back into my life. And therefore, through that investment, my entire fucking life has changed. Everything in my life has changed from making that kind of investment and really declaring that by making an investment like that, my life is going to evolve. I'm going to make more money than I ever have before. I'm going to see this come back tenfold. I'm going to absolutely be in a different position where my evolution of self is so much greater than anything it could have ever been without that kind of investment. And this is the power of investing in people who have the tools to get you to the place that you want to be in, is that by making that investment in yourself, actually putting the money into it, then you are sending that signal out to the universe that you're ready to up level, you're ready to evolve, you're ready to take it to the next level, as opposed to making an investment that is very much so inside of your comfort zone. That doesn't require you to shift. That doesn't require you to change. That really just tells you that you can stay inside of your comfort zone and be in the same patterns that you've been in the past, which then is going to attract and manifest the same things over and over and over again. And there's truly, in my opinion, a cost to not investing in yourself. There's a cost to staying where you are right now. Just like I asked you at the beginning of this episode, is like, would you be happy if you woke up a year from now in the exact same position that you're in right now? Would you be happy if you woke up 6 months from now in the exact same position that you're in right now? And if the answer is no, then I encourage you to really step into this energy of finding the person that you really resonate with, whether that be me and joining the Abundant AF Babe Academy, or that be whoever it is that you have that strong pull to, whether it be starting the business or finding the manifestation coach or choosing something, a training program, whatever it is that is going to help you move the needle forward in terms of what it is that you're wanting to create for yourself, and finding that resource that's going to give you the blueprint and the plan to help you get from point A to point B, then that is going to guarantee that 6 months from now, 12 months from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, you're going to wake up in a completely different reality than the reality that you have right now. And that is because you're getting these resources from the people who have what you want. They are expanders of your knowledge, of your belief system, of your energy, of what is possible for you. And without these expanders, it's really easy for us to stay in the same exact position, because without those sort of mentors, without that kind of guidance, left to our own devices, we'll probably choose not to change. Our brains are structured that way to keep us in our comfort zones. So having the guidance, having the structure, having somebody who actually knows how to hold you accountable to that and hold the structure for you to be able to do that, then that is going to, like I said, guarantee that you end up in a different position that you're in right now. And make sure that you do it in a timeline that is so much shorter than anything that we could ever do by ourselves. This is actually a conversation that I've had with quite a few of my past clients recently, is that prior to working with me, they've shared that they tried to figure all of this stuff out for such a long time when it comes to manifestation and money manifestation and getting what they want. And that when they finally spent a year or 2 years or multiple years in this position of like, fuck, I don't know how to do this by myself. It's really confusing to try and stay on this path by myself, and finally made the decision to work with me, then within 1 to 6 months, they're in a completely different position. They're in a completely different reality. There's going to be a podcast episode that's coming out next week with one of my past clients. Her name is Say. And Say, within 6 months, She literally went from her rock bottom to now being a full-time content creator for body positivity. She is the first plus-size Korean model that is signed at her agency here in New York City. Like, she's completely transformed her life. Before that, she was in the position that she was in, toxic, shitty jobs that she really didn't like, felt so down on herself and such a challenging position with herself, and is now quite literally following her dreams and inspiring other people to do the exact same thing. And like, that happened in the span of 6 months. It's so powerful to see what can happen when we give ourselves permission to shift and when we really put that investment out there to learn from the people who have the things that we want. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, the most valuable resource that we have is time. Time is the most valuable resource on planet Earth because it's the only resource that we can't get back. And when I was at the very beginning of my intentional manifestation journey, I sat there in the position of like, okay, let's say I make the investment in this coach and nothing changes. Is that the worst case scenario? And it's like, yeah, that's the worst case scenario. Like, I make the decision to invest in this and nothing changes. And then it dawned on me that if that is worst case scenario, that I was living my worst case scenario because nothing had changed. I wasn't giving myself the permission to change anything. So therefore, living in my worst case scenario because I was just allowing it to happen, as opposed to giving myself permission to go all in on investing in myself and implementing the blueprint and the plan that that coach had for me into my life. And for me, within a matter of a month, I started my business. And then 3 months into starting my business, I made my first $10,000. And ever since then, I haven't looked back from that. I've consistently had 5-figure months, 3 months into my business, because of that decision to invest in myself and continually invest in myself and continue to learn and evolve and expand in ways that I couldn't have if it wasn't for the guidance of somebody else who is already in the position that I wanted to be in. So I've said that so many fucking times on this podcast episode, but ultimately what I want to say is to choose yourself in whatever way that looks like for you, and to invest in yourself, in your growth, because if you want the dream life, if you want your manifestations, if you want all of the abundance and the money and more, essentially, in your life, then that requires for you to invest in yourself in a way that you haven't in the past. So like I said, whether that be joining the Abundant AF Babe Academy, or that be finding any other person who does what you want to do or lives the life that you want to have and learning from them, that is what I encourage you to do, because this is our one and only life. This is our one and only shot at it. And just like I said, time being the most valuable resource that we have, we owe it to ourselves to use that time to go all in on creating this evolution inside of ourselves so that we can spend the rest of the time that we have here on planet Earth knowing exactly how to live and manifest the things that we want to have, be, and do in our lives. So that is what I got for you on this podcast episode. Short and sweet, but pretty to the point on all of these different things. And just like I said a few times throughout this episode, if you are ready to go all in on your manifestation journey, if you are ready to create freedom, create more money, create fulfillment, consider joining the Abundant AF Babe Academy, because that is exactly what I teach you inside of the academy. And the women that I have worked with see the most insane results, because you are stepping into my energy and the energy of all of the coaches that I have chose to invest in the past and currently, because you are getting all of the things that I have learned and everything that I have in this brain, this body, and this soul of mine, and helping you to expand yourself into the position that you too 6 months from now could be living your exact dream life. Even shorter than that, in 3 months from now, you could have your dream life. So the link to that is going to be down below in the show notes if you're interested in learning more. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. That is also linked down below so that you can connect with me on there. We can have a conversation if this is something that you're interested in. And yeah, I hope that this episode has inspired you to take some action and really consider the cost of not investing in yourself, because that ultimately is it at the end of the day, is that this investment in yourself, it may feel scary at first. It may feel as though it's something that you're not able to do given your current finances or given your current situation. But the longer that you put it off and the longer that you use that as your reason not to go all in on creating the reality that you want, the longer that you're going to stay in that. And I can say that from my own personal experience. It was really fucking scary to invest in myself the first time. And I am so grateful that I did. It's hands down one of the best decisions that I've ever made, because now, like all of you know, if you listen to this podcast, it took me less than 2 years to create the dream life. It took me less than 2 years to go from absolute rock bottom to completely free in every single way, financially, location, time, within myself, within my heart, within my mind, within my soul. And that can be your reality as well. So I'll actually get off my soapbox now, but I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. And if you did, if you found it inspiring, please share it with somebody. Please leave me a review on iTunes. It would mean the world to me. And I will chat with you on the next episode. Oh my gosh, thank you for listening to today's episode. I'm so grateful to have these no bullshit talks with you. If you enjoyed today's episode or the podcast as a whole, please spread the love by leaving me a review on iTunes or sharing the podcast with others. This is how I will be able to spread more of these good vibes and be able to make more of an impact on the lives of others. And if you're not already part of all of the goodness and communities that I have to offer, check out the show notes. I have links to the different ways that I can support you on your manifestation journey and help you live a life full of more money, fulfillment, and freedom. But that is all for now. So big love and hugs, and I will chat with you soon, babe.